Hey folks, Wausau Siete. So I'm here with Robert Loftin, and we're getting ready to fog nap a hauling point out of this piece of Flint River jasper. Are you got the camera on, so now you can quit talking?
You was doing the talking. No, I got the Flint River from my friend Ben Rivera, and we're gonna try to see if we can't make a Holland out of it. Holland point.
Yeah, this is the point we're gonna try and make right here, and we're gonna do it fog napping. So we're gonna watch Robert walk us through this and make this point right now.
It's set up to flake this side.
So we all set to go then?
Yeah, as soon as I sit down.
Okay.
So you videoing?
Yep, we're videoing.
All right, I'm gonna braid it.
Now, what are you using to braid with there, Robert?
A diamond file, flat file from Harbor Freight.
Okay.
A box of those 10 is like $7 or $8. I just couldn't believe how cheap they are.
Hard to beat that deal.
Oh my goodness, terrible. So I like to have my issue stick a little bit sharp, not quite to a point, but about like a pencil. And I use both ends.
Yeah, he's put an extra rod in the other end so that he can get most of the way through a point.
Whenever they hold the copper like that, I just come back and I braid it real good again. Flip my flaker over. Get a sharp flaker again. And it pops right off. I try to click about 1/4 of an inch at a time with the issue. Hoping it'll go across this white stuff.
Is it running across it?
It is so far.
Oh, good. Oh, yeah.
I had to give it a little extra horsepower on that.
Now, Robert just made a beautiful Elko. Now, Robert, how long have you been napping?
1 year yesterday.
1 year yesterday. Well, you do incredible work for a year, I can tell you that.
Thank you.
I think Robert's probably one of the better fog nappers out there currently.
So easy a caveman can do it. All right?
Well, I don't know. I just did it and didn't turn out so great.
But yet caveman did them.
Now Robert's teaching me some stuff, and he's already taught me a lot of stuff that I didn't know, and I'm going to be practicing all my fog napping here in the coming months, and see if I can get some stuff. If it's half as good as Robert's, I'll be all right.
And I feel the same about my percussion, as Danny's going to help me to learn some percussion, and I'm really excited about that because that's my weak point, as most of you know who know me. So I get about half the platform across there. I like my platform about 1,000. Let me see, 100 thousandths, so 1/10 of an inch. Alright, so that's got that first side all the way up. We've got one right in here I'm going to push pretty hard on. The rest of them made the middle.
Yeah, it's got that limestoney stuff in there. It looks like it's going to flake across it.
I think it will. Alright, so braid, braid.
And Robert, do you always start from the tip?
I do. I know some of my friends on this point would start back at the base and work to the tip. I've done that a few times and it just doesn't work well for me. I know a lot of people do that and it gives an S shape across there instead of the W. So when I get through, mine will look like a W, where if you come this way and come back down, it'll look more of an S. So it's a personal preference thing as far as I'm concerned. Both of them look nice. I like this way a little better.
A lot of flint knappings like that, personal preference, and what works for you may not work for someone else, and what you think looks good, someone else may not, but that's what keeps it all interesting and makes it all different.
So far it's working. Yeah. Let me braid that. Looks a little dirty. One thing, you got to keep your fingers off of it once you've abraded it. Got to keep the chalk on it is the way I call it. There we go. I got it.
We're in Texas today, down around in, where are we, Robert? Central Texas?
Yeah, near Waco, Central Texas.
Near Waco, yeah. We got a big fan. Robert's got a really nice setup out here. All of his tools are all set up, organized, pretty. Everything's clean, nice napping spot. He's got these rubber pads down on the floor, big fan going, mister. Pretty comfortable out here, really, although it's probably close to 100 degrees out there. It's still pretty comfortable out here.
Yeah, it's easily 100 degrees, but that mister makes a huge difference. I've been really impressed at how much putting a little water on the situation makes a difference. Well, this Flint River, it really naps well.
It is some beautiful material, for sure. Now, how thick was that slab to start with?
5/16 or a little bit more. Yeah. Okay.
Wow, look at that pattern. Beautiful.
Side one
Fantastic.
is done. I got a couple little, I like using a razor blade to pop these out. Yep, that one didn't want to. There you go. There we go. That one might stay. All right, I'm gonna take a minute and dress this up, and we're gonna move over to the other side.
Okay.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, we're ready for side two.
All right, I braid. When I get ready on side two, I always start at the point again, just because I'm like that. And I come to the second delta. The first delta we reserve for the other side. It'll blow it across.
And he showed me that earlier, and that was a really good tip right there.
I learned that if you try to go to that first delta on the first time, it will overshoot the other side, and then you can't get a flake in that area, and it makes everything harder to deal with. So I leave that first delta alone and then get it from the other side. All right, I'm ready again. And you can see I did not blow across the other side, so my flakes go a little over halfway and stop. That's the way we want it.
Then when you come across the other side, then you'll get that tip.
Right. Yeah, it's good. It's getting across there. I'm getting them to about right here.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
It's working. Okay, a braid. Whenever it slips off like that, just stop. Don't try to put it back on. 9 times out of 10, you're just going to make it worse. And the worst thing you want to do is end up with it just chipping a little piece out. Then you're kind of stuck. You've made an ugly spot that you have to fix. So if you just stop right then, go back to a sharp flaker, go back to the middle, and
that's where that second side comes in, so you don't have to stop and
right, redress. Yeah. You can probably see I'm hitting the middle of the deltas about halfway on each one of them.
Now, do you nap all the way to the bottom, Robert, or do you stop a little bit on the sides before you get to the bottom?
I like to leave about 1/4 of an inch on the bottom, and a lot of the times you'll have a little more in the middle than the edges because it gets thicker and it kind of will swoop its way up, which is nice. That one didn't. That one went straight, but a lot of times you'll have a little bit more here, and that's fine because when I come across, I come to the middle and then back from the other side, back to the middle, and if I need to, I'll flute it. Like if I was to leave a piece up to here, I'd just flute it from the end, and it'll take it right out. So,
Okay.
yeah. All right, we're on the side that always breaks everything if it's going to, the 4th flaking. I've made a lot of knives, as you guys know, over 300 to count. And
Holy cow, 300,
yeah.
huh? That's a lot of knives in a year.
yeah,
That's incredible.
and over 1,000 points.
Really?
Yeah,
Holy cow.
yeah, and yeah, I'm a little bit crazy, but anyway, but anyway, it took me a while to learn on my knives. It was always that 4th side that I would break them, and my problem was holding too much pressure with my holding hand.
Yep.
And everybody has to learn that how hard you can hold this in here and not snap that booger, you know, which I've learned it's not very much. All you're doing is cradling it.
Yes, sir. Any more than that, and you're running a risk of breaking it for sure.
Yeah, I cradle it and push into the left hand, but I don't actually hold any pressure. All right, so here is where I go ahead and take that tip off, and I try to put it right in that corner, and then pop that tip right here, right there. That's all it took.
Beautiful. And he's placing that flaker. You guys can see that he's placing that flaker right on the delta on the opposite side, and that's where he's pushing off.
That white stuff's snapping. I'm so happy. I was wondering if it would nap, or if it would be more like a concrete, like some of them are.
It'll make for an interesting spot in the stone.
Yeah, when you get all done, it's gonna be real pretty right there. All right. See, I've got a little ding right there. I'm gonna have to work out. Give me just a second on the file. All right, so I don't like that. We're gonna have to work around that. Can you see it?
I think they can see it.
Yeah, what happened is the flaker found a hard spot there, or just slipped off, but it just took a tiny chunk instead of throwing a flake. We won't let it stop us though, will we? Right, I'm gonna go right beside it here. Yeah, caused me a little bit of problem. And it's that white stuff that's causing the problem. But we're okay, we can work through that. Well, where it's clean, it really flakes nice. As most all y'all know, I'm trying to keep my flake right up the middle of the pad so that it doesn't get, you don't want it to touch the pad where you're throwing the flake, or it kills the flake. I always keep it right in the middle if I can.
Oh, she's looking really good, Robert. Really
Alright,
good.
so now I'm going to resharpen one more time, redress.
Let me grab a little drink real quick before we progress on here.
Alright, so I'm going to go down to the base now. Not sure why, but I always save both sides of the base for last. I'll use about the same spacing. I do about three, or I do a few on each side, but I try to come from the side back to the middle, from the side to the middle.
Then your center flake's the last flake?
Yep.
Okay.
Then that way, if I needed to throw flute up the middle, you flute it from the on your last flake. Okay. Like that. See, I ran that long one because I had a little bit of a curve to it, so I went in and ran that one a little long.
That is going to be one killer point right there.
It's looking good.
All right.
So right now I'm going to dress the edge up, so give me a minute. All right, so I took a minute to put the edges on the flat lap just to clean them up a little. This is fog, right?
Basically, just to knock the deltas down just a little bit.
Yeah. And now I'm gonna, I gotta work on my edge. So I like to hit it with a file. It gives me two things. One, I can see it. I can see the edges better. And secondly, it gives my flaker a place to grab. Give me just a second on this flaker.
We're back.
Okay. So, got a nice sharp flaker.
So let's see. Yeah,
And-
that's very sharp. Nice.
Start at the tip. And I flake about every 1/16 of an inch. What I'm trying to do right now is just flake the deltas off the other side. You can see the edge kind of coming together. See that edge?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Very good.
I do all my detail work and edges and all that stuff right up at the edge of the pad. All my notching, everything I do right up here at the top, at the edge.
Man, I cannot wait to see this thing done. It is going to be fantastic.
So you said it'll be your first Holland fog you've ever seen.
I haven't seen any fog napped Hollands before, not with that base style anyways.
Yeah, I'm excited to be able to do this. This style of point, I haven't ever done one, period. Okay. See, a lot of times you can't even see those deltas if you don't wake them up with a little bit of file. You know, I do that.
Yeah, because they sure show up after they get a little dust on them.
Yeah, you get a little dust on them, and then I can see them, so I can pop them. So 1/16 of an inch per click. That's all I want to do. And there again, what I'm doing is knocking the deltas off the other side.
I've only ever shot one video freehand like this. Hopefully it's coming out all right. It looks like it should be.
Well, don't feel bad. I've never been in a video before.
Well, you're going to be famous now.
Again?
Again. Yeah.
Give me a second. Can I stop?
Okay, we're rolling.
Right. So I said yesterday, one of the things that was neat about my 1 year was all the friends I'd made. I had guys like Michael Border sent me videos of how to, when I was struggling with how to get a flake to go across. I couldn't get a flake to go across the thing to save my life. And that guy made up a whole videos and sent them to me. And I mean, there was a bunch of people who helped me out. A lot of people have helped me. Not gonna, I guess, start dropping too many names, but I've made so many friends.
There's a lot of good people in this hobby for sure.
There really is. There really is.
I don't think I've ever been involved in anything that was quite like this. The archery scene I met a lot of great people shooting archery back in the day too, and gym mineral clubs, things like that, but never anything like what I've experienced in the flint knapping world. Just a bunch of great people.
All right, so that side's finished. I'm gonna turn it over, and we're gonna dress the deltas just gently.
Again, he's just using a diamond file.
Right.
Just lightly abrading it.
Right. And then I'm going to come back and knock off the deltas from off the other side. It takes 2 or 3 clicks per delta. Yeah, my buddy Ben that gave me this rock right here as a gift really helped me with my flaking. And we've become real good friends since. If any of y'all get a chance to come to Texas in the Knapping in Brady in October, it'd be neat.
I'm planning on being there at Brady in October.
That's good.
I'm going to try and make the Renegade Ranch Knapping, the Niblets Bluff Knapping. I had a really good time at Niblets Bluff this spring. I really enjoyed that Knapping. I'm going to try and be there again, and I'm going to try and make the Brady. And I'd like to make the Fall Water Creek Knapping also, and I think it's Sac River also up in Missouri. I don't know if all the dates are going to work out, but I don't know about that last one, but I think the dates all work out on the others to make it to those.
Well, I've gone to Brady the last 2 years, and it's been wonderful. Good guys there, some of the best nappers on earth. You know, man, there's some good nappers there.
Yeah, I encourage anyone who's not going to Knappings, you should really consider going to some, because, and even if you're brand new or you don't think you're up to par with these other guys, because believe me, I walk in there and those guys are phenomenal, and I feel a little out of place sometimes because they are really that good. But they'll help, and don't be afraid to bring your tools. You talk to people, go, well, did you bring your tools? They go, I'm not getting in there with you guys. But that's where you want to be. You want to be in there with your tools, knocking on rock and learning some things. That's the place to go.
I agree 100%, because I went twice now to Brady, and when I went the first time, I had just started napping. Just started. Well, I started in August, and the first napping I think was in October. And those guys were like, bring your chair on over. And I said, well, you sure? And I'm like, yeah, bring your seat. Come on over. And of course, they were really good and I was really bad. They still make me look bad. Some of them guys are so good. Here again, I'm just knocking the deltas off on the other side, flicking them through. It gives you a short, little, pretty.
If you've never had one of Robert's points in your hand, his work is, believe me, the photos don't do him justice. They are just phenomenal. And the edge is just absolutely just fine work, extremely sharp, and just beautiful.
Well, thank you, brother. As I said before, it generally takes about 2 clicks, generally, to knock off the delta, each delta. You can see it as I'm working down it.
Oh yeah.
I'm up to here. We're getting rid of them deltas. I'm excited about doing this piece.
I'm excited about it too. It's going to be awesome.
We do a lot of the same things over and over because you kind of get in a rut and you're like, well, I'll do another one of those, you know, and you know, when Danny's showing up here saying, hey, why don't you try something different? And I'm like, heck yeah. I asked him, what do you want me to make out of it? He said, you got some Georgetown or Flint River or something. First thing I saw in here was some of this Flint River. Hey man, that looks good.
Yeah, it's going to really look sharp with that white, the white in the tip. That's going to be really slick.
And it all flaked.
I don't know if the flaking pattern is showing up. I don't know how it's showing up on the video, but it is just fantastic. It's beautiful. Yeah, just beautiful. Perfect.
Okay, so now we got to notch this thing.
Okay. So I'll pause this, and then you want to draw the notches in. That's how you want to approach it, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll come back in just a minute.
So, I watched this fella on Facebook a long time ago drawing in his notches on there, and I thought, man, that makes perfect sense. And now he's holding the camera. So
I was going to ask, was he bald?
yeah, you know, I couldn't see his head. All I could see was what he was writing on. And yeah, I learned that from Danny here, and it just really makes sense. If I leave anything on there when I get done, I take it off with some acetone. So I notched down into the piece, so I'm going to show you as I go. I'm going to just kind of break a piece off here and there. I'm raising my platform to this side. Raising the platform.
Robert does some very fine narrow entry notching and things on his win-twos, and just perfect notches. And do you do all your notching with that tool right there, Robert?
I do. This is a welding rod. A lot of people use a horseshoe nail, but I get a little bit too violent on the horseshoe nails and bend them over.
They do bend pretty easy.
Yeah, so what I do on the, this is 7018 1/8 inch welding rod. I make it sharp like that, so that it grabs the platform and then pushes it off. So now I'm getting into a notch here. I'm going to grab here and push it. Starting to take shape.
Yeah, it's starting to, isn't it?
Yeah. Keeping this straight. That might be close. I'm gonna work on the other side for a minute. I use my notcher as a measuring device.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah, it makes I've done that even when I'm doing it in Elko. I'll stick my thing up there and I'm like, okay, it's about right there, and that one's about right there.
That's a doggone good idea. Use the tool you got in your hand.
Yeah. Man, this Flint River really snaps. It just really works well. I like it. That's what I needed, was to knock a good.
That little pop out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it was after. So needs a hair more on this side. So what I do is I find the platform right here and I press in and break it. Let's see.
There you go, nice little pop out.
Yeah.
So without making the other adjustments to the bottom, you almost got a harden there.
Oh yeah. There you go. Okay. I probably ought to look at the picture. Okay. So I need to curve in a little more. Okay.
Just a little bit.
So we're going to curve these in a little bit. I
And
think
your feet got to turn out just a little bit there at the bottom.
Okay.
Just like that. But you can adjust that with the bottom down here.
Yep. All right. So I need to curve these in a little bit.
And we're going off a cast of an actual point that was found. The cast is from Lithic's Casting Lab. It's my favorite version of a Holland.
I think we're about there. About there.
Another little tip that I picked up on this little adventure is I'm always it seems like I never have enough light, and Robert naps with a headlight on.
I sure do.
It helps with old eyes. I'm going to be napping with a headlight from now on.
Alright. I started doing that because I do a lot of hiking, and we use hiking and biking. I use this headlamp. I don't know, it's almost second nature to keep it on me all the time. When I started this, it was just one of the things I just fell right into. Alright, so I'm going to kick this around.
I know you're a long-time hunter. Haven't them headlights come a long ways from the old halogen days where you had to carry 50 extra batteries with you?
Yeah, and it was about as bright as carrying candles.
Yeah, pretty much.
I can remember looking for wounded hogs in the middle of the night with a headlamp that wasn't much more than a candle light.
Yeah, and it was yellow, the yellow light.
I swap back over to my copper because when I'm trying to push up in there and throw a flake a little further, I want a little more grab. For me, the steel is fine for the short and for the pressuring in hard, like to make a notch. But if I'm trying to throw a flake up in there like this, we went all the way to right there with these flakes.
Right.
I want some copper. I want to be able to push it.
Yeah, otherwise your base starts getting real fat.
Yeah, it gets fat and you're just breaking them straight down.
Right.
It may be hard to tell on video, but on the real sharp ones, I'm just breaking them right off. But when I get to a good platform, I push in, and it throws the flake at an angle.
I'll tell you right now, Robert, that point's looking doggone good. Really good.
Because one of the things that I really coveted early on was I wanted to learn how to notch, like some of these phenomenal knappers we have, you know, that just there's so many good guys out there that can just put the prettiest notches. And so that was my biggest goal, was to learn how to really notch. We're getting there. What do you think?
I think so.
Think I ought to bring these edges up any higher? Or, I mean, this is a little longer than mine.
It doesn't have to be exact. Just make sure your curves are nice and smooth and transition there, and then I think you're looking really good. Really good.
I think we're pretty close. I might clean them up a little bit with this.
Are you liking it?
Yeah, I got a couple little spots I'm going to click off just because I'm anal, but there's a couple little spots right here I don't like. Just to bring it back to center. I like that.
Yeah, you always want your bases and ears and all that stuff to all be barbed, to all be to center if possible. They just look cleaner and nicer when that happens. If you have them all laying off to one side, they just don't look right.
I agree. I think we're there. Let me go over and wash it up real quick.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
Okay. So that turned out
Absolutely stunning is how that turned out. Y'all take a look at that. Just beautiful. The edge work is perfect. The flaking is just beautiful. And look at that base. And he's never done a Holland, and it just came out. I mean, it couldn't be any better than that. That's just fantastic. I love it. That's a beautiful point right there. He's going to show you the other one he made earlier, the Elko.
I made this little Elko earlier.
Just gorgeous. Little obsidian. Look at the edge work on that. It's just absolutely fine. Beautiful flaking. Well, Robert, I appreciate you sharing that with everybody, and thank you, my friend.
Thank you, brother.
I think people are really going to enjoy watching that. You did a fantastic job.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Y'all have a good one. Y'all keep napping, and we'll catch you on the next one.